The F in effort, the first F in effort, is focus. And before lunch, someone said the biggest problem is distraction. Here's a crazy thing. So Jill Konrath is a woman who has written a couple of books, and she's in the process of writing her fourth, I believe, and she was doing a whole bunch of research. And she found that we actually get a dopamine reaction when we allow ourselves to be distracted. Now, I didn't do the research, so I don't have the studies. I have some studies to show you in a second. But every time you check your email, instead of doing something else, you actually give yourself a little dopamine. So for those of you who don't know what dopamine is, it is the second best drug behind adrenaline. That's my favorite. Dopamine makes us feel good, right? So every time you distract yourself, you feel a little bit better. So what do we do when we feel better? We do the same thing.
It's like a slot machine.
It is, right? The slot machine, and it's directly injecting dopamine into your brain. The problem is we get dumber. So Dave Crenshaw wrote The Myth of Multitasking, How Doing It All Gets Nothing Done.
Yep.
This actually is copyrighted 2008. More recently, the University of London did a study that found when you switch tasks, because multitasking is a myth, right? So we're actually switching between tasks very quickly, you get dumber. Your IQ actually drops. And it drops to the point, it's like we're smoking pot or we've stayed up all night. Now, as fun as that is, statistically speaking, it's not necessarily something that is going to make me effective when I'm making a sales call. I have to be smart, or at least as smart as I could be, right? So I don't have the luxury personally of allowing myself to be dumber in order to get something done that I need done, right? I want to increase the revenue in my business. I need every ounce of brain power I have available to me, so I have to focus. And when I think about focusing, I need to make sure that I don't allow myself to be distracted. Because Stanford University also did a study, and I love how they say this because I think this comes into play when we think about our businesses. People who multitask, when they're in situations where there are multiple sources of information coming from the external world, or emerging out of memory in your own head, they're not able to filter out what's not relevant to their current goal. So let's think about that from a sales perspective. If increasing revenue is my current goal, and as a person, there's lots of things going on, and I need to be able to filter out what's not helping me in this conversation, and we think about the external world, I need to be not distracted by the waiter, not worried about whether somebody has coffee, not listening in on the conversation behind me, not noticing it's my favorite song that just came on the overhead speaker. That's one of my personal issues. All right, external world stuff, all of the things that are external distractions to our ability to focus. We haven't even talked about the inside stuff that's going on. I don't know about you, but there's a couple of voices that usually talk to me. One of them is actually kind of important, right? From a sales perspective, I actually have a voice that might tell me a good question to ask next. But there's also things that remind me of a situation that I was in before. And now I'm thinking about that memory, not about what the person said. I'm not focused on the conversation at hand. And when we try to do multiple things at the same time, the problem is we get worse at filtering out what's not important. So the problem we have is that other people are distracted. We're distracted. We have to take charge of focus. And I have some bad news about focus. These are evil.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Right, they are.
It's very true, very much so.
And the most evil thing on it is Facebook.
Facebook is a distraction for sure. Email. We have, right? The best thing I ever did was have someone else come to my house and turn off the little thing that lets the email ghost up so it like distracts. Oh,
I need to know how to do that.
I don't know how to do it because then I could turn it back on. So I actually paid someone to come turn it off so I can't turn it back on. Right? So at lunch we were talking about what are the things you pay people to do. I pay people to do things that I don't actually want to know how to do or undo. We are in charge of paying attention. We have to eliminate the things. When I'm working in inside sales organizations in corporations, I can't even tell you how freaked out people get for turning off email and instant messenger for 1 hour at a time. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because they get a dopamine reaction every time something comes in. Of course they don't want to turn it off, it feels really good. But we have to control that urge. We have to close it down. We have to. Another piece for me personally is I have to make an appointment with myself. And here's the weird thing. I think you guys need to do daily sales activity. Daily. It's just like exercise. If you give yourself an out, you will take it. If you don't have an appointment with yourself, you will continue to tell yourself in your head that as soon as you finish this, you'll do it. Then you have to finish this. No, wait, this. How about this? But this just came in. I think this might bring me more money than making those cold calls. And all of a sudden, it's time for dinner. All of a sudden, your kids got off the bus. All of a sudden, you really do have to go because you have an appointment. And you never do the sales activity that you intended to do. We all know where the road is paved with those intentions. Instead, truly set an appointment. I use Outlook because I'm an electronic, I'm in front of a computer all day, right? So it pops up. It's an appointment with me. In my world, it's very scientific. It says, Lynn, dial the phone. Okay. And I have a 15-minute reminder, so I can't excuse myself because I have 15 minutes to finish whatever it is I'm working on right now, so I can dial the phone when it pops back up. Focus is critical to increasing revenue. Focus on generating more money for yourself. There's lots of things we do in our business that don't actually generate revenue. I'm not telling you to stop doing them because some of them are, working with the people who just gave you money, right? So please don't not do those things, but we need to focus on revenue generating activity specifically if you intend to make more money.